Hello and welcome to Automate with Amit, and welcome back to another video in the current series where we are going to design a framework from scratch, and we are going to design that particular framework in such a way that it is more useful to other websites also. So here we are going to consider IRCTC website. So let's see. In today's video, basically we are going to cover what are different packages which we need to design, what are different classes which we are going to use. So that's what we are going to do. So let's get it started. So this is my Eclipse IDE over here. So in file, I am going to create a new project, and this project is going to be a Maven project. So I am just selecting this Maven project over here, click on next. Okay, so and here we are not going to select anything. Next, just I need to select this quick start if it is not selected. So after selecting, click on next. Group ID and artifact ID. So in here I am going to use the website, whichever website I am going to use. I should be writing something like this: com.awa, which is automate with Amit dot. Yeah, group ID is fine with that. We'll see what we are going to use further. Artifact ID basically is the project name. So what project basically we are going to automate, that's what we can write in here. So let's put IRCTC, because we are going to use IRCTC underscore automation. Okay, so fine. So let's click on finish. As soon as we click on finish, here is the website here is the project which got created. So under this project, you will see source main Java and source test Java. So under source main Java, I am seeing one already package has been created. In here also package has been created. So I am going to delete this, because we are going to create packages as per our need instead of already default created packages. So fine. So in source main Java, basically we generally keep those files which are are not related with the tests, and if we are going to create any particular test cases, then we are going to use this source test Java. Okay, so right click and just click on new and package. So I am going to use this com.awa.framework. So I am just using this as prefix. So com.awa.framework, and then some core package. So I'll tell you what is this core package is all about. So I'm just going to delete this package info, because I don't want to keep it. So in com.awa framework core, basically what different classes we are going to put. We are going to use one browser manager. So here we are going to use Selenium. So that's why to manage the browser we need one particular class. So browser manager is one class over here. Another class we wanted to have is option manager. Okay, so because with the browser, actually what we need to do, we need to provide some options also, right? For example, if we are going to use some options like we wanted to open our browser in restore mode, or we wanted to use some cookies, so those options basically we can provide using options manager class over here. For example, if we are using Chrome browser, then Chrome options, Edge options, so those classes basically related to that basically we can use in here. So we will see the implementations also. Another class basically we are going to use as element util. So over here we are going to create all our wrapper methods, element util. So let me write in here also that what are we going to use here. So we are going to, or element util is going to have wrapper or Selenium wrapper methods. Okay, I'll explain also what are wrapper methods when we are going to create this. So here in browser manager, we are going to use this okay, so this browser manager class is going to manage WebDriver instance. Okay, so this particular class is being used to manage the WebDriver instance. It is building, just a moment. Okay, and another one is options manager. So this options manager class is going to used for different browser related operations. For example, it could be handling cookies, so something like this. Okay, so if you are you are trying to learn framework design, then you should also be following with me, and you can create all these packages and classes, and eventually you should be able to implement the details in here. So this is it related to the framework core. We will add some more classes if we are required. New package, so this is another package over here. This could be okay, so so we are going to follow the same pattern, com.awa.framework. So another package is web element, basically. So web elements is going to have, this package is going to have all the wrapper classes. So wrapper classes of web elements. So this class here, okay, so what are different wrapper classes basically? So we are going to have this button. Okay, I am going to write something. This button class is a wrapper class for button web element. Okay, so likewise we have button class, and we are going to have multiple classes. So I'm just copying and pasting over here this. Let me copy this and paste this button, and what different elements could be drop down. Okay, drop down could be another one. Then so another one could be radio button. What else we need here? So maybe link. Okay, so web link, I am naming it as web link. And okay, that is it basically. Yeah, one more, maybe text box. Okay, so fine. So for now I am just going to use these web elements. I am just going to copy the same things in here also, so that this drop down class is a wrapper class for drop down web element. Okay, and in here radio button class is the wrapper class for. So while designing anything, while designing any particular code or a framework, documentation is very much important, because you may or may not be the person who is going to work on the same framework which you have designed. So for that purpose, it is always required to create documentation with whatever code you are writing. Okay, so it is always good practice basically. So here web link also I am going to put the same thing, and that's it. This way all of you who are watching this particular video is going to have, okay, so all of you will be having little details what this particular class is going to have. So that's it for web elements. Whatever different web elements we will be interacting with, we are going to create going further. Now another one could be right click, then new, then package. Okay, so package, now com.awa.framework. Okay, so framework, maybe helpers. So what are helpers? Basically we are going to create this helper classes over here. So here we are going to use different type of classes, like if we are going to use database, so I'm just creating the class in case we require, we'll have this DB helper or something like that, but I'm creating this here. So DB helper, different types of files which we are interacting with, so we are going to use those also in here. Okay, so DB helper class got created. Then eventually we are going to create a class which is Excel helper, which is going to use or it is going to read data from Excel. So Excel helper, okay, Excel helper. Then would be, we are going to use properties file as well. So properties, okay, so properties helper. Okay, so properties helper, Excel helper, DB helper, like that. We can create multiple files also, like a CSV if my code requires to read CSV files, so it should be able to handle that also. Okay, so this is CSV. So all those helper files, which helper classes which are going to help us to read different types of files, are going to be here. Okay, so now another is listeners. So we are just following the way we had seen in the video number, I think it was first or second, where I had explained what are the different components of any particular framework. So if you haven't watched that particular video, go and watch that. That is going to give you much details about what we are doing over here. So I'll just come here, right click, new, and go on package. That way I need not to write all of this, just I need to remove this web elements. So I am going to use listeners. Okay, so listeners, finish. Listeners, I am going to create class. Okay, so maybe we wanted to give a retry, so that's why I am going to use this retry class. And another one is, we'll see how we are going to use these files, these classes. So retry, then retry analyzer, just to put just to see where exactly how we are going to use this retry. If in case my test case is failing, then in that how we can give it a retry. So for that we are creating this retry analyzer class. So I have just created the class here. Then listeners, then again another one could be my package here. Instead of this, framework, utilities. So utilities could be which are very much useful. So here I am going to use one date time class. So because when we work on different types of classes, different types of test cases, which like a time zone or something, and a date time related, we need different format of dates. So in that case we need different formats of dates and times. So that's why I am using this class in here, and like that we can create multiple classes whichever we require. I'm just deleting it. Okay, and another one could be maybe constants or something. Okay, let's create one more constants class, constants package. So constants, so in this particular package we are going to keep all those files, all those classes which are going to hold data constant data. Okay, so for example, maybe sometime we give test groups, right, or test categories, basically test group or test. Okay, so if we wanted to execute only regression test cases, so that basically so just to tag tests, basically we are going to use this, and I'm just creating in here. And another could be time delays, basically, so we can use this also. So class delay, so 30 second, 20 second, something like that. So instead of hard coding everywhere, we are going to use these classes to define our constants at one place, and that way we will be able to control them better way. So just finish and delay, and test groups are fine. Okay, so one more thing could be reporting. So here right click, new package. Reporting is very much important because once you once you create your framework, or create your framework and execute your test cases, it is very much important to give the reports also, right? We have just executed, let's suppose 100 of test cases. If we are not gonna send the report to management, it's worthless, right? We are not going to execute tests for ourselves. So for that purpose, reporting is very much required. So in reporting, basically there are multiple things. So we are going to use over here extent reports, extent report, extent helper. So I'm just writing this extent helper over here, extent helper, and just finish. So we will be using this extent helper over here. Another could be right click, new class, so maybe reporter or logger kind of thing. So we can name it as logger. So this logger is going to help us to log all the details we wanted in extent reports. So this logger actually I have created here. Another thing could be, if in case your test cases are going to have okay, so in case your test cases are going to have video recording feature, so that also we can implement in here. So class, so video recorder. So basically some of the frameworks it is required. It is always helpful to use video recording feature when our test cases are failing for no reason. So we are not sure for what reason basically they are failing. In that case, video recorder is very much helpful. So I'm just creating the classes over here. In case we are going to implement it, we'll see how to implement these classes as well. Okay, so now I think we are done with the here constants. Yeah, one more class I think we should use. We'll see if we are going to use or not, but global variable, something like that. So in case we require any particular variables or values which are going to be used across our frameworks and tests, then we are going to use this global variable over here. Okay, fine. So another thing is we are done with our framework structure over here. So all the classes we have created here. Yeah, so since we are going to follow the page object model, so I am just creating another package over here which is com.awa. So instead of awa, this time we are going to use IRCTC. Okay, so IRCTC.pages. Okay, maybe I'll put com.awa. So it's just a naming convention. Okay, so you can use whatever you want, but whatever website basically we generally, this is just to give a hint that we are using IRCTC, and this package is for pages basically. So page object, basically we are creating this. I'll just delete, sorry, so I am going to delete this as well. Okay, so this page is over here. Another thing is here, delete, and over here there could be two things. First is our new folder. So in folder, basically we are going to create 2 folders. First is because this is going to be a Cucumber based framework, so Cucumber BDD. So we are going to use this as okay, so here we are going to use step definitions, or rather inside this what we can do, we can create one package. Okay, so com.awa.irctc.step definitions. Okay, step definitions. So inside this we are going to create all our step definition files. Another package could be com.awa.irctc. So step definitions, and what different things, step definition instead of a step definition. Okay, apart from a step definition, feature files. Okay, so feature files. So we are going to use feature files over here. Fine. So yeah, so with this actually we are done with this here, feature files and step definitions. And one more thing is runner classes. Okay, so we can create here in source main Java runner. So package, so it could be, just a moment, let me do this way, IRCTC pages package. Okay, so instead of pages I am going to use runner. So test runners basically we are going to create over here. So delete. Okay, so I am going to create one class over here which is test runner, or rather I should use IRCTC runner, IRCTC test runner. Okay, fine. So so far we are done with the project structure and all. So here if you just wind up this particular session, so before that we have created this constant over here, delays, test groups, global variables, all the constants basically which we are going to use throughout the framework we have created in here. Another one is core framework. Over here we have created this browser manager over here. So in browser manager we are going to use this class to manage WebDriver instance. Element util is another Selenium wrapper methods. So we are going to keep all the Selenium wrapper methods in here inside element util. Options manager, basically we are going to use this particular class to give to customize our browser operations, for example handling cookies or something. Another thing is listeners. So listeners, basically we are going to use some kind of listeners over here. Retry and retry analyzers I have used over here. We are going to use one more class which is test listener, maybe test listeners. So in case we wanted to execute some of the test listeners, we are going to use this here. So I have created another test listener class. Another thing is reporting, because reporting is very much important in the whole framework design, and we are going to use extent helper over here, logger and log4j basically, and video recorder. I have created one class. It's up to us that we are going to develop this. Another thing is framework utilities. So in framework utilities basically I have created date time over here. We can use different types of utilities as we go ahead. We will see web elements. Basically this particular package is wrapper class. Basically it is going to hold all the wrapper classes for different web elements. So button class basically is a wrapper class for button web element, like that, for drop down, radio buttons, text boxes and web links, like that. Another thing is pages. So all the pages basically we are going to follow page object model. So in pages basically we are going to follow we are going to keep all the pages. So we will see that in upcoming video. how we are going to follow the page object model. So in runners, basically this is runner to help execute my feature files, Cucumber feature files. Okay, so yeah, that's it in this particular video. In here, this particular framework basically we are going to use for IRCTC. So it is going to be very fun, and we are going to automate many scenarios of bookings or something. So it is going to be fun altogether. Okay, see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.